It is Tuesday, and that means you're getting a brand new American Horror Story Cult recap and review. This one is for episode 8. It's titled Winter of Our Discontent. Let's jump right into it. We kick things off this time around with a little catch-up session between Kai and his big brother, Dr. Vincent. The chat reveals that despite my suspicions, Vincent hasn't been in on any of Kai's plans, with Vincent even saying he's ashamed that one of his clients, Allie of course, was tied to that rally shooting. Vincent apologizes and congratulates his brother on his accomplishments, but before we get too carried away with the brother bonding, Kai makes a demand mid-embrace with some eerie music building in the background, and it's that Vincent starts calling him councilman. After that, we get one last cut to Vincent before the opening credits roll, and he is very clearly concerned, so right then and there, I became convinced that I was wrong about this character the whole time. Next, we move to Ivy's restaurant, which is packed with Kai's blue shirt wearing cult members, with Ivy serving them and Beverly in the kitchen. They're super angry, of course, but there's really nothing they can do about it because now that he's a councilman, Kai got the okay to have a private security force on patrol, the blue shirt wearing guys, but don't lose hope just yet because Beverly's got a plan to cut off the head of the snake and destroy the army in the process. It's a reasonable plan from Beverly's perspective at least, given everything that's happened to her, but Winter isn't into it because she's still semi-loyal to Kai and his larger plan. But the big question there is, will Kai even spare his sister in the end? Will he sacrifice Winter to get what he wants? Flashback to October 2015, when a young Winter and Kai were busy trolling social justice warriors online. They get a special invitation to something called the Judgement House, and that's where they meet Pastor Charles. He leads them to a room with a crib in it, and it's a room that kind of reminded me of the crib in American Horror Story Hotel, but maybe that's me reading too much into the whole connection thing. At first, Kai thinks it's all fake, but it turns out it's the real deal, and Kai and Winter are then led from room to room, each with a gruesome display of torture. It's all got a very Saw-like feel, with individuals being tortured with their own sins, or rather what Pastor Charles assumed were their sins. Kai makes the decision to rescue these people, but rather than run off with everyone he saved, Kai reveals a little of the Kai we've come to know in present day, and he makes Pastor Charles suffer just as he made his victims suffer. As Winter explains, that's when Kai changed. She admits she knows that he lost his way, but also insists that they could put him on the right path again. The next scene gives us a new Pinky session, this time with Kai and Winter, during which Winter vows to love and remain loyal to Kai. After that, Kai tells her that he loves their family, but not the one they have, the one they're gonna make. Then he goes even further down the rabbit hole, telling her we're just the seed, and from that seed, from the blood we share, a savior will arise to carry on our mission. It's eerie, right? But wait, because that's not all. Kai tells Winter that she'll be the mother of their Messiah baby. And want one more crazy detail to go with that one? Kai wants to steer clear of incest, so he's going to bring a third party in for this, Detective Samuels. I am not cool with that, and at that point I was betting Winter wouldn't be either, but before we get her reaction, we get to reunite with Allie, who has apparently been in a psych ward for 3 weeks. So Vincent insists it was only to keep Allie safe, and he actually takes a pretty big leap and comes clean to Allie, telling her that Kai's his brother. He also hands Allie a family photo, so now she also knows that Winter is their sister, and that's when Allie connects the dots, the same way I once did as a viewer, assuming Vincent was the one feeding information to Kai. Kai must have broken into his case files, and it takes a little while, but a promise to reunite Allie with Oz and get Kai off the streets seemingly earns Allie's trust. But wait, back to that Messiah baby real quickly. Everything with that is going according to Kai's plan, down to the perfect Messiah baby-making song, all for ones, I swear. But ultimately, Winter does come to her senses, and she torpedoes the whole thing. She's not doing it, thankfully. So we have the pleasure of missing that what the fuck moment, but we do get another one. Allie is at home cooking, and who does she welcome into her house? Kai. Turns out she asked him to come over. She wants to make a deal with him. He gives her Oz, and she gives him information, and that information is that Vincent is trying to get Kai committed. After that, we see what happens when you take a pass on having a Messiah baby. You've got to clean up trash with a dunce cap on. Samuel swings by to bring Winter lunch while she's doing that, and that's when we finally get into his backstory and his connection to Kai. So Samuel's nabbed Kai once for prescription fraud, but rather than bring him in, he wanted to be Kai's partner in the operation. When Kai pays Samuel a visit to bring him the money he owes, we see Samuels owns a good deal of Nazi memorabilia, and we also see him struggle with his sexuality. In that moment, he's very vulnerable, and Kai knows it, so he gives Samuels a speech about how women take his power, and Kai encourages him to take power by being with a man. For a quick second there, I thought this was going to be one of Kai's warped messages of positivity when he tells Samuels there's no gay or straight, but really, he just gives a new dark meaning to how Samuels is truly feeling, and when we cut back to the present, we see he still believes Kai's rules, even though Winter sees right through him, and that makes Samuels angry. So angry, he attempts to rape Winter. She overpowers him, though, and declares Valerie is right, and she shoots Detective Samuels dead. Back at Kai's, he's getting ready for another ritual, and this one involves Vincent and Beverly. Apparently, Vincent was the one who taught Kai the whole pinky thing, so Kai cuts off his pinky, and then he stabs him to death. Next up is Beverly, and in an interesting twist, it's revealed there that she's in the position she's in because Winter blamed Samuels' murder on her. All things are pointing at Kai killing Beverly as well, but he opts to put her in an isolation chamber instead. And then, in true American Horror Story fashion, before we close out the episode, we get one more big twist. Some of the clowns demask, and we get to see who's wearing the mask that Beverly once wore, and it's Allie. There is some good stuff here. Disturbing, but as far as narrative twists and turns and character building go, Episode 8 brings Cult another big step forward. It is just so nice to have Allie back in the picture, and back in the picture stronger than ever. I loved that detail that she's changed, and she gives Kai credit for the change and credit for curing her. Yeah, she had some pretty powerful phobias before, but the idea of such devastating threats now dwarfing those other fears is kind of horrifying, but also inspiring. There is just no chance Allie is Team Kai. I'm kind of betting she's there because Kai made her so that she can get Oz back. The only thing I'm questioning there is how easily she sold Dr. Vincent out. He did say he was gonna get her back with Oz, even if it's the last thing he does. So I wonder if he sacrificed himself and maybe they plan to surrender together. Just a theory there, but I'd be shocked if Allie just threw him to the wolves like that. I also love the different stages of the Pinky game this episode, or rather Pinky Power now. We've only seen Kai use it as it was meant to be used in previous episodes, but here, first he breaks the link with Winter, and then he kind of breaks off the root of the game by chopping off the pinky of the person who taught the whole concept to him, and that's Vincent. Just like the incident at Pastor Charles's house changed Kai, I have a feeling this decision will change him yet again, probably making him even more evil and ruthless. Another interesting element that I'm not entirely sure what to make of is that really quick flash to Beverly shooting Samuels instead of how we saw the scene play out with Winter. So the scene with Winter was shocking and powerful, and I liked how it tied back to last week's episode, so I'm hoping that it's not a twist and that's really the way it was, but why include that alternate scene at all if it doesn't mean something? And now that Samuels is dead, what does that mean for Kai's Messiah baby? I have a feeling he won't just let the idea go, so who steps in to fill Samuels' shoes? And what's Winter even thinking now? She gave Kai the benefit of the doubt, but then she ruined his baby-making plan, and then he killed her brother right in front of her. Allie's planning something, so I'm wondering if she and Winter and maybe even Ivy might wind up dismantling Kai's operation from the inside instead. So that's where I'm at with American Horror Story Cult right now. But what about you? What's to come in the next episode? What are the twists and turns you're predicting? Tell me about them in the comments below, and I'll see you again next week for another recap and review of American Horror Story Cult, Episode 9. See you guys soon.